Shalom to Stan Steinreich, President and CEO of Steinreich Communications Group, speaking to us from New Jersey.
Thanks for having me, Yoni.
So first of all, tell us about how you guys in New York and New Jersey are feeling this whole movement, the protest movement of Black Lives Matters.
So, look, we're in the New York metropolitan area. New York certainly has felt the impact of the George Floyd situation. Indeed, it's one that requires reckoning, and we're doing that with our clients. Both in the not-for-profit space, in the Jewish community, and those for-profit companies who are grappling with what is the right and appropriate response for them to make, in this awful situation.
So what should be the attitude to these events?
Well, look, I think that there's general agreement by everyone that what happened in Minneapolis was a horrific tragedy. Nobody disputes that. I think that what we at least try to remind our people in this conversation is that George Floyd's death should not be in vain, and there's a greater understanding that America needs to have when it comes to race relations, and this is a wake-up call. And look, what I will tell you is, by and large, Jewish organizations in the United States have commented on social justice issues for a very, very long time. I think I saw a number today that more than 21 Jewish organizations issued statements, over the past several days. Most of them are very supportive of the Floyd family, and most of them, also reflect an understanding that we have to do more in America in the area of race relations.
Now, how do you relate to the fact that sometimes it's connected to anti-Semitism?
So I think we have to be very, very careful, and I think within the Jewish community, we have to understand that anti-Semitism is a horrible thing, no question, but we have to be very, very careful not to equate our situation with that of the African American community, or for that matter, any other community in the United States. I think that each of us have our own set of issues, our own set of challenges when it comes to the broader society. I think the only solidarity that we could have is an understanding of what it's like to be discriminated against, but only to a certain degree. And I think we have to be very careful in not judging, and also not saying that one situation is the same, worse, better, etc. That's very dangerous ground for us to take.
So regarding the Jewish community, the Jewish organizations, do you think that it's all about responding, or should the Jews take to the streets?
Well, let's remember the American Jewish community really has a great history when it comes to African American Jewish relations. Many Jewish leaders marched with the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King side by side. And I'll also tell you that it was Jews from all walks of life. It was Orthodox, it was conservative, it was Reformed, it was affiliated, non-affiliated. So we have a great history there. One group in particular, the FFEU, the Foundation for Ethnic Understanding, over the past 20 years has built tremendous bridges for the Jewish community and the African American community. So we have really a great track record, and I think even today, we're seeing that as well. Both on a local level, and also on a national level. I'll give you an example of that. Small community, Teaneck, New Jersey. The deputy mayor sends around a newsletter, and it incorporated responses, from a variety of people, in the community. And that's happening all across the United States, in large cities and small towns, et cetera. So I think you are seeing the Jewish community come out in support of the situation there. Not necessarily the support of rioting and looting. I think that that's a separate matter, much, much different. But I think, again, there's a deep understanding that what happened to George Floyd is a greater message that we as a society must address and we must fix.
So let's end with COVID-19, the coronavirus. How are you guys all doing these days? Can you tell us?
Sure. So look, I can tell you that possibly after New Rochelle, Teaneck, New Jersey was one of the most affected, particularly the Jewish community, the Orthodox community, and pretty much every neighbor around us suffered from the virus in some fashion or another. Thank God, those people have recovered. And likewise, we're seeing a slow and a steady recovery. In Teaneck again, we're just actually resuming outdoor minyanim beginning tomorrow with Mincha and Marav, and hopefully that will progress, as we go farther into the summer. So indeed, I think the community suffered tremendously, but thank God we're on the road back. And that's something that optimism is something that we all need to remind ourselves of every day.
Stan Steinreich, President and CEO of Steinreich Communications Group, thank you very much for joining us.
Tony, thank you.